Three's Company.
Three's Company. Better than you and your stupid kids.
I'm Steve Reeves, the Bull of American Broadcasting, alongside the great Chris Morganti. How are you, Chris?
I'm good, Steve.
You know, in August 1969, nearly 500,000 young people arrived in upstate New York to see a concert featuring the likes of The Who, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Santana, Jimi Hendrix, and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. It was called the Woodstock Music and Arts Festival, billed as 3 days of peace and music. We have here a contemporary news report filed just after the event, now commonly referred to as Woodstock, came to a close.
They were happy here. I think they are really a wonderful group of kids. I've never met so many kids in such large numbers that were so polite, so patient, so courteous, and understanding under these conditions that we had here in the last 3 days.
Certainly in the beginning there was a great deal of apprehension, but right now I can say that the attitude of the town is changed towards these young men and women.
They took a lot of aggravation and inconvenience that the average adult wouldn't take.
Unfortunately, because much of the press coverage was so jaundiced in its reports of what happened here, not many people in the country will have learned what Monticello learned. Suffice it to say that it was not a disaster area. There were 450,000 young people here, an instant big city, really, with no conveniences, few police, but no violence, not even arguments in the midst of a 12-hour traffic jam. It's true, one may not ask for the names of the tailors of these youngsters.
Wait a second. That reporter just said the average person, he basically means the average person wouldn't look at one of these hippies and say, I'd like to meet his tailor. However, it's not a visiting hippie, but a local resident whose haberdasher Warren Zevon might have expressed an interest in meeting. And that resident is the focus of our movie of the week of the week. Due to an editing mishap, part of what I said after the movie of the week theme was cut off in post-production. And I understand, we all make mistakes. In fact, in a bit, you're going to hear me say, had ran, which is unprofessional and embarrassing. Now, the part of the episode that got Rosemary Woods out of existence, that not being there really disrupted the whole basis for a point I make later on in the show. So, I'm going to repeat here what I said, and then I'll be back in studio with Chris for the remainder. Our movie of the week, Werewolf of Woodstock. As you may know, but possibly not, a moment ago I made reference to Warren Zevon's classic hit, Werewolves of London. But beyond the title being similar to Warren's best-known song, there are other strange tie-ins between Werewolf of Woodstock and Warren's life and career. One of the producers of the film, along with the legendary Dick Clark, is a man called Bill Lee. He also co-wrote the screenplay, did Bill Lee. There was a longtime pitcher for the Boston Red Sox called Bill Lee, known as Spaceman Bill Lee. Warren Zevon wrote a song about that pitcher in 1980 called Bill Lee. Werewolf of Woodstock aired as part of ABC's late-night anthology series Wide World of Mystery, on January 24th, 1975. January 24th was the birthday of Warren Zevon. And later on, I'm going to paint a plausible scenario that might suggest this film may have influenced Warren's songwriting. But first, let's check in on Bert, a Woodstock resident. It's 1969, and like we just did, Bert is watching a post-festival news recap.
Woodstock can be considered a major breakthrough for large events of this kind. There are certain to be more of them. But the young people have gone home now, leaving this once beautiful landscape a sea of debris. And it appears to this reporter that it's going to take a lot more than good vibrations to get things back to normal. But for the time being, the beat still goes on.
Baloney.
I guess it's safe to say that the reporter in the news report we watched did not encounter Bert.
Yeah.
While he was out in the field.
Oh.
Yeah. Is it, you think Bert, if he had ran into that reporter, he might have provided a counterpoint to the rest of the men on the street?
Goddamn hippies.
Well, next, we meet Cora, the loving wife of old Bert Two-Coats.
They talking about the festival on TV?
Yeah, what else?
Where are you going?
See if any of those lousy hippies are still around here.
Oh, no, there's no sense starting that up again, Bert. Be careful.
Starting that up again. He does this all the time.
Yes. And this finally came to town. He's very fortunate. Yeah, so Bert and his excessive outerwear. It's August, by the way, Chris. They head to the concert site, and Bert takes his hippie frustration out on the Woodstock stage during one of those rainless thunderstorms that we see throughout this film. I should point out there's going to be a little bit of a delay this evening with the clips, Chris, because
what's going on here?
Well, we found this film on a site where the time codes are very minuscule, so it's difficult for it's difficult for Jim to cue them up as quickly as he ordinarily does.
That'll happen when the website you go to ends in .ru. Yes. that was indication number one that we might have problems.
Okay, here we go.
Freaks! You miserable freaks! Hey, mister! Come on! You better get down from there! Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's literally old man yells at cloud. Are we stopping there, or are we going to show the rest?
Well, there's sort of a match sound cut into the lead singer of the band who's featured in this.
Oh,
why is that, Chris?
Well, he turns into a werewolf.
No, not yet. Not yet.
That didn't happen when he gets struck by lightning?
That didn't happen. Those of us who watched the movie know that did not occur.
I spent all that time coming up with the picture of Ben Franklin as a werewolf, thinking that he turned into a werewolf right after he got struck by lightning. But of course, he didn't. Yeah, you're right, because it's later that night that happens.
And it is the cause. The electrocution is the cause of his transmogrification.
Yeah, I didn't remember that it didn't happen instantaneously there.
All right, well, next we see a rock group, and they're wrapping up a rehearsal. And they're an enterprising young band, and they have a novel plan to generate industry attention. Although one member, he's skeptical of the whole scheme.
That's great. Yeah, man, that really sounds good, man. Really good. Let's get this stuff packed up in the truck. We split tonight. We'll be there by tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I still think it's a bummer, man, going to Woodstock.
Oh, it's far out, man. Sending a demo tape to a record executive with recorded live at Woodstock stamped on the box is going to get attention.
Hey, that's heavy, man. The tape goes right in the trash. Now, what record dude's stupid enough to believe we were at the festival?
Listen.
Yeah. Well, just imagine being a member of a band like Sweetwater or Quill. You actually did perform at Woodstock, and nobody believes you.
Mm-hmm. We're still having problems here.
Yeah, all kinds of issues. Well, it's okay, though, because we're about to check in with Bert. We're going to see how he's doing. He's receiving in-home aftercare following his electrocution.
There was a version of this on YouTube, which is how we normally do this, but it's like 10 minutes shorter. So I just, I watched this one instead, but I don't know.
Also, there we go.
Doc, I'm going to sleep in here tonight so as not to disturb him.
Good idea.
Yeah. I thought that was a strange line.
Yeah.
Telling the doctor where she plans to sleep.
Yeah.
But it turns out that's for us. So we don't wonder through the whole ordeal that ensues how this woman is unaware of Bert's activities, which initially take place nocturnally. Pretty soon we're going to see Bert's very first transformation. Yeah, now that's our best first look at the werewolf.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson made a more menacing werewolf.
I don't know. I didn't think it looked bad. I was expecting it to look worse, to be honest.
It looks like merely a Halloween mask.
It looks a little better than a Halloween. I'd say a good Halloween mask, yeah. But I thought it'd be worse.
Now, Chris, I owe you an apology because when I suggested this film, I had not yet watched it. And some time ago, you told me there are two things you don't like seeing depicted. And one of those things is a dog being harmed or worse. So for those of you who may wonder why we've never discussed The Day After or Threads, it's because those films contain the implied widespread harm of dogs.
Yes. That's where I draw the line.
Well, the dog turns out to be Bert's first victim.
Yeah.
And
it's off camera, though.
Yeah. But we do see the aftermath, which I won't subject you to again, Chris, and I apologize for you having to see that in the first place. Now, victim number 2 is a police officer who, due to the length of Bert's hair...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I unfollowed a mutual comic friend of ours on Facebook recently for, he's making a joke about the presidential debate and the whole thing about people eating pets and stuff. And he did that by posting a picture of a dead dog on Facebook.
Oh, that's not on.
Yeah.
Very unswinging.
Very unswinging.
So Bert then kills a police officer.
Do you want to? Should we say who it is?
It doesn't matter. Nobody knows.
I think he's fairly well known. Jimmy Graham.
Oh, okay.
The round boy of New Jersey.
All right. So victim number 2, a police officer who, due to the length of Bert's hair as a werewolf, he mistakes Bert for a hippie straggler. Now, we're not going to see that either because it's visually boring, like the first half of this film, which is basically a lot of running in the darkness. So the local police lieutenant...
Yeah, and most of it's shot in the same room as well. Like at least half this movie is in the room that we're going to see in this next scene.
Yeah. Interesting room.
Yeah.
It's like a Candlewood Suites. So the local police lieutenant, he now has a dead animal and a dead cop named Charlie London, on his hands, and very few leads. Lucky for him, he has the help of 2 Los Angeles police officers who are visiting Woodstock to observe the festival because they're thinking of having one in Los Angeles. And lucky for us, he also has a lamp. Now, anything you want to say about this next clip?
A lamp?
Yes, we can see this. This scene is well enough lit.
Oh, okay. I got you.
As opposed to most of the others so far.
Well, I hope no one's hungry. Now that they have a lamp, maybe they're hungry. Let's see.
Okay.
Like I said, long hair.
Yeah.
You want some chili?
No, pass. So right away it's a hippie, huh? What about the body in the morgue? It was all broken and mutilated. I've known any kid could do that in one.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me hear the tape again, will you?
Oh, sweetheart, we've heard it over 100 times. You want some chili?
No, thanks.
No, please, have some chili.
You want something to drink?
Even law enforcement. They're so rude.
that chili looked very unappetizing. So. I don't know.
It's the first prop I was able to make out in the movie so far.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now we're gonna cut ahead to. Oh, okay.
Bert.
I see.
It's Bert in convalescence, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morning. Here, take this.
It's a glass of chili. They finally found someone who. This guy can't really fight off the chili. I don't
know. There's such a glut of chili in the town.
Yeah.
They're using it for any purpose they can put it to use for. So those characters, the police officers, local, from out west. Let's check back in with them as they continue to try to make sense of all this carnage.
Getting at something very simple, Martoni. The way the joints were all bent back against their normal motion pattern with apparently very little effort.
Just like Charlie London.
Just like Charlie London.
Well, here's another piece of the puzzle.
What's that?
The lab report on Officer London's body came in this morning. Seems that they found traces of animal flesh and hair under Charlie's fingernails.
He must have really struggled before he died.
But they haven't been able to identify the type of animal.
For what it's worth, I think whoever killed Charlie London killed the dog.
But why? What sense does it make?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what sense it makes either. The werewolf's motives throughout here are nebulous, I would say, Steve.
But the seeds are now planted that might solve the case.
Sure.
They're considering, at least they've started to have the discussion about this possibly being not otherworldly, but supernatural.
Yeah.
Meantime, that band from earlier, they've arrived in town. In fact, the unfortunate dog belonged to a member of the group. Her name is Becky, and she's inconsolable over her loss. So Becky takes a late-night stroll with her boyfriend, Tom, who is also a bandmate. But Bert leaps out of the shadows and attacks Tom. Now, Tom survives. Becky flees. Bert gives chase. She faints upon getting a good look at Bert and realizing he's a werewolf. He picks Becky up and takes her to an abandoned building. Now, let's see Becky as she regains consciousness.
Where am I?
Jesus.
Oh! Oh my God! Oh no! 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 Please! No! Don't tie me up, please! Please don't tie me up, please! I won't run, please! Please!
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, Steve. What's he trying to do to her there?
Well, he's trying to tie her up, but
why?
She says no, and he says, "Oh, okay, then I won't tie you up."
Yeah, and I don't even know why I brought you back here. What's the point of any of this?
Hey, while you're at it, Becky, why don't you tell him you want to go home? Or for our sake, tell him to light a pickin' candle. No, instead she promises she won't run. So we're going to go back to the station again, and we find there's a potential break in the case.
Look, there's been a lot of research done on the possibility of severe electrical shock, altering tissues and organs.
Like the shock that Anderson received?
Right, I've checked it out and they've done tests. Look, under laboratory conditions, rat skin tissues were found to multiply at unusually high rates in an electrical field.
Rats? How do we get into rats?
It's right here and I've made notes. Listen, hair follicles produced hair at 5 times the normal speed when exposed to the same electrical stimulation.
Huh. Now I lost my appetite.
When the activity ceased, they became normal again.
But I still don't understand how this has anything to do with Bert Anderson.
Look, hasn't there been a lot of electrical activity in the atmosphere ever since Bert had his accident?
Yeah, but we didn't have any this morning or this afternoon.
According to the research,
On rat tissue.
after repeated stimulation, the changes began to take place without the help of any current at all, until all the cells completely transform themselves into a new, more active variety.
So, to translate, Bert will soon be a werewolf during the day.
Is that where that's... Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Which is great for us.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Exactly. Last week we watched Kolchak the Night Stalker, which is about a vampire. And we talked about how he just had basic common knowledge of vampires, and everyone was treating him like he was an expert. And, yeah, this seems like kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't know where she got any of that information.
Well, it seems that she got it from a book that Cora, Bert's wife, gave her.
Okay.
Upon their first meeting.
That's weird.
It was
Why
weird
would that
and
happen?
extraordinarily coincidental.
Yeah, yeah.
So, speaking of Cora, she's about to learn Bert's secret the hard way.
Doc! It's Bert! He's gonna kill me! He's James! He's an animal!
Cora, try to stay away from him. I'll get help and be there right away. Cora!
Yeah. She does know he's a doctor, right? And not the National Guard?
Yeah. I think things were different back then. Like, I don't think they had 911, you know? Like,
well, they still...
She probably just called the first number she remembered. You know?
Actual authorities you could contact. But who the doctor does on his own. That's the next step.
Right.
She created a middleman that didn't really need one. He calls the cops and for help, but it's too late for him because Bert shows up at the doctor's door and attacks him. And the doctor is fortunately able to use one of his final moments to identify Bert as being a werewolf. Now,
shrewd.
Yeah. Now, Bert is injured from the scuffle with the doctor. He returns to his retreat where Becky awaits. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Twilight thing going on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or you could call it a classic case of Werewolf of Woodstock syndrome.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Becky's boyfriend, Tom, he's getting impatient with law enforcement and the lack of info on Becky's disappearance. So he pays the station a visit. Gee, I hope he's hungry.
This is a modern electrical werewolf.
Oh, come on, Lieutenant. Look, the studies have shown there's reason to believe that human tissue responds to incredible amounts of voltage by changing the same way as the rat cells.
It's not possible.
Why isn't it possible? Everything else around here is possible. Why isn't that possible?
House of Horrors. Yes, this is Martoni. Oh. When? Thanks. That was the hospital. Dr. Marlowe just died. Okay, let's get you Bert Anderson. But keep your theory to yourself for now.
Lieutenant, look, I'm sorry to bust in on you like this, but I'm really worried about Becky. Now, what
There's Tom.
happened to her?
Yeah, just keep going. No.
What's going on?
Okay. No, you're on the right scene. You started a little early, but yeah, we want to go to, 4711 on this one. Yeah, keep going.
Oh, okay.
Why can't
we have an
find
idea
her?
what's happened to you. You want to sit down for a minute?
What? Sit.
Listen, Kindy, what kind of mental state would Bert Anderson, the person, be in right now?
Well, given the right kind of patient, one who's been depressed like Bert, a severe shock could activate his feelings beyond control.
He hated festivals, he hated music, he hated kids, he hated everything.
I mean, his normal dislikes would become intense hates, and his negative personality would become obsessive.
Wait a minute, who are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What if our patient were confronted with the thing he hates most? What would he do?
He'd probably try to destroy it.
What are you getting at?
It's an idea. Tom, I want to ask you and your band to do something for me. It may sound crazy, but it might bring Becky back. Would you do it?
Well, yeah, sure, anything.
I want you to play with all the
All
speakers
right.
you have
Okay,
as
that's
loud
fine.
as you can.
Yeah. So the plan here is to annoy Bert by creating a series of sounds. Sounds that he'll want to chase down so he can put a stop to them.
Yeah.
Now, you put it in an interesting way before the show.
Yeah, I said they tried to Manuel Noriega him, which
Right.
is a reference that all the kids will get.
Well, we're not done talking about Warren Zevon. So,
well, yeah, I mean, they want to do things to annoy him rather than give him things he likes, like pina coladas and beef chow mein.
what they want to do here is they want to bait him into the wide open spaces of Max Yasgur's farm where they can shoot him with a tranquilizer. They want to take him alive.
Yeah, but they also made a silver bullet. So,
Well, I think at this point, there's difficulty in procuring a silver bullet.
yeah. Yeah, it's not something you normally come across. Sure.
So they're going to try to merely tranquilize him. And the plan is halfway successful they have here. I want to put a headphone warning on this scene. You want to turn down the volume if you're listening that way.
Hit the siren. Now.
Well hidden. Yeah.
Oh, man. How much more do we have?
We're almost there. Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, that siren goes for the last 15 minutes of this film. It's so annoying. Why did they do that?
Well, that's precisely what they're trying to do. They're trying to.
I know, but you're trying to annoy the werewolf doesn't mean you annoy your audience for the last 15 minutes of the film. I'm not joking. It doesn't end. That siren goes the whole rest of the movie. It's so annoying. And the band, right before that clip that we showed, that band was pretty good. I liked them. They kind of sounded like Ram Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Black Betty.
Yeah.
I liked it. They were pretty good. But, oops, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. So the lieutenant, the chilly guy.
Yeah.
He suddenly remembers that Bert is known to seek solitude in the abandoned property where he's holding Becky.
Yeah.
So he tells the others to follow him to that location. Let's watch them leave for a ridiculously long time.
Stan, follow me.
All right.
Well, Steve, can we pause it? I think the reason they did it is to give us time to contemplate how similar upstate New York looks to California.
Yes. Yes.
Let's continue with this.
There are a lot of, I would say, crags.
Yeah.
In Bethel, New York, in this case.
Now, are we going to see the dune buggy?
Oh, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Oh, here we go again.
Hold on. So the authorities arrive just as Bert has collected Becky and he's fleeing the scene. And the chase continues.
Hey! 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 Where you going, Lake Dune Bucky? Hey!
Uh-oh. Looks like the werewolf doesn't know how to drive stick. What are you doing to my clutch, man?
Oh, Bert flees to a power plant and carries Becky inside. Now, the plan is to shoot him with another tranquilizer, in the hope that another dose will incapacitate Bert. But not taking any chances, one of the LA cops makes a different arrangement. It's one you referred to just a moment ago. Now, this is a very long chase scene, and as you said, the sirens repeatedly blare.
Yeah, it did go away there for a while in the last scene, but it does come back, and that's what I was thinking, that it was the whole time, but it wasn't the whole time, but still way more than it should have been.
I believe they are part of this scene as well, and I guess, as you said, the rest of the film,
Just be careful. Yeah, okay. Stay here.
Oh, did you get them?
Yeah. I got the silver at a dentist's office, and then ballistics put in the casing with 30-06 bullets. So Moody will need that rifle. Here.
One bullet?
That's all the time they had.
Well, doesn't matter much. Won't do much good from way up there.
Yeah, one bullet. It's freaking silver. What do you want?
But they only have one shot. I think that's the concern.
I know, but, you know.
Yeah, silver bullet, the only way to kill a werewolf.
Yeah.
So Bert grabs the dart gun from the officer who's on his tail, but he doesn't use it on him. He puts it aside, and the two seem as though they're about to go head to head atop the power station. Now just play it. Grabs the gun. Now it's man versus wolf. Yep. I've said it a million times, Chris. Who needs a stuntman when you have a crash test dummy, some black cotton balls, and a hot glue gun?
Yeah. The first fall, where it's the actual actor doing it, that looked good. And hopefully they had a safety net below him. But, it looked like he really fell. But then they cut to the other scene, and it doesn't. But
yeah, it's shockingly bad.
Yeah.
Shockingly cheap. And so ends The Werewolf of Woodstock. Anything you'd like to add to the discussion?
I don't know that I've ever seen a good werewolf movie. Have you?
I don't think I've ever seen a werewolf movie.
Well, you never saw Teen Wolf?
Oh, yeah, Teen Wolf. But that's not, I wouldn't consider that
a movie about a werewolf? Pretty sure it is.
But
also, Jack Nicholson made one in the 90s.
Oh, Wolf, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't remember either of those being good. Maybe they were.
I did see that, and I quite like that because that has Jack Nicholson and James Spader, two of my favorite actors.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be. Maybe it is good. I don't recall. It was a long time ago, but I don't know. I mean, this one was. It wasn't good, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Nobody's here for that.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. To be honest, like, it wasn't terrible.
Well, returning to Warren Zevon and Werewolves of London, the story for decades has more or less been that Warren and some other musicians, they were having a bit of a jam session, and Phil Everly from the Everly Brothers, he popped in and suggested they write a song called Werewolves of London. So they did. And in 1978, that song was released. But Chris, the song was written in 1975.
Oh.
The year Werewolf of Woodstock aired.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this, Chris. What if this jam session that resulted in Werewolves of London was the result of a gathering held to celebrate Warren's birthday that year, which would have been on the night Werewolf of Woodstock aired.
Okay.
Late that evening, it appeared on TV, perhaps giving Phil Everly the idea in the first place. Even though there is an old film called Werewolf of London, I believe it's possible that I'm getting these titles mixed up. Werewolf of Woodstock was the actual inspiration for Werewolves of London.
That's a very plausible theory. Yeah.
And that's all I have to say. I just like to put that out there.
All right.
Did we hit the goal?
I don't know. Are we going to, last week we did a vampire and now we did a werewolf. Are we going to continue this trend?
Possibly. It depends on if there's anything that interests us.
There was another Night Stalker movie, aside from all the TV episodes.
Kolchak, The Night Strangler.
The Night Strangler.
Yeah.
Now, is that, I assume it's going to be another monster, but do we know what the monster would be there?
I don't know.
Vampire or otherwise? All right. Well, maybe we'll do that. It's next week will be October. We're approaching Halloween, so maybe we'll do these monster. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the genre of Halloween type films.
Okay, but that's
monster movies, slasher films, any of that. I'm also not really a fan of the whole holiday of Halloween. I have some bad associations with that whole thing. But if we think it'll get us some extra views, then maybe that's the type of movie we go for.
Well, I suppose we can.
Yeah.
Not sure if people are watching these in real time.
I mean, yeah. Who knows? Or at all. Yeah.
Right. Well, in that case, I think we did it. I think we hit the goal for Jim Corhan. The harried Jim Corhan.
Yeah.
This is a tough night for Jim.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he's got to edit this whole thing.
Yeah,
now,
I don't know what version of this you folks saw, but this one took some doing.
Now, when you do edit this, Jim, remember, more sirens.
All right, in that case, Chris Borghetti. I'm Steve Reeves.
Oskiwawa.
Hold on back now.
Tigers.
You know what we did it,
The